Paris 2012 was an unsuccessful bid for the 2012 Summer Olympic Games to be held in Paris. The bidding race was eventually won by the London 2012 bid after a 54-50 vote of the International Olympic Committee on 6 July 2005. The French capital's failure to win the 2012 Games follows the attempts of the Paris 2008 and Paris 1992 bids. Organization: the Paris 2012 Committee, the French National Olympic Committee, the City of Paris, the Île-de-France region and France itself formed a public interest group called Paris Île-de-France 2012, chaired by Bertrand Delanoë, Mayor of Paris. The group was responsible for supporting and promoting Paris's bid. International Olympic Committee Evaluation Report. The IOC gave the Paris 2012 bid almost universal praise, as shown in the following excerpt from their evaluation. Paris has based its vision on the long-standing relationship between Olympism and France and has planned athlete-centered games. Paris has committed to providing a legacy to the city, the region, French athletes and the community generally. The Olympic Village will provide a significant new housing opportunity for inner Paris. The Paralympic Games are well integrated into the planning of Paris 2012. Overall, the environmental actions are comprehensive, innovative and integrated throughout planning and operations, and would result in significant gains and legacies from the Games. The budget has been professionally prepared with great detail. Assumptions for the budget are well supported and documented. Paris has extensive, well-maintained and operated metropolitan road and rail transport systems. Paris has a rich cultural heritage with regard to Olympism. The candidature file and the information provided to the Commission during its visit were of a very high quality. Important dates: the 21st of May 2003, Paris's Mayor, Bertrand Delanoë announces official candidature of Paris. Nous requérons l'honneur d'organiser les Jeux Olympiques de 2012. Nous sommes là pour gagner. November 2004, a large pin S is installed on Eiffel Tower with the colors of Paris 2012. The 6th of January 2005, several monuments and bridges of Paris are lit with the colors of the Olympic rings in honor of the Parisian candidacy. Palais Bourbon, which lodges the National Assembly, Paris City Hall, the Eiffel Tower, and 4 bridges of the Seine-Marie Bridge, Bridge of the Harmony, Michaelmas Bridge and Footbridge de Billy will display the logo of Paris 2012 until the 6th of July 2005. 9 to the 12th of March 2005, Paris is visited by the IOC Evaluation Commission. The 5th of June 2005, Champs-Élysées is transformed into a big sports ground. The 6th of July 2005, nomination of candidature of the Olympic Games received by the 120 members of the IOC at a ceremony in Singapore. Candidates file. Dates: the Paris Organizing Committee proposed to hold the Games from the 27th of July to the 12th of August 2012. These dates offer the most favorable climatic conditions for the athletes. Finance: Paris proposed that the organizing committee for the Games would need $2.65 billion to run and prepare for the Games. Non-OCOG budgeting would include $2.2 billion specifically for the Games and another $6 billion for general infrastructure enhancements over a longer period of time. The national, regional, and local governments are all committed to funding the Games, and the national government says that it will cover any shortfall the Paris OCOG experiences. The Olympic Village. The goal was to place the 17,000 athletes and guides under the best conditions in the middle of the Games. The One Village, Two Corps concept of the Paris 2012 bid would have placed the Olympic and Paralympic Village in Paris only 6 kilometers from the two corps of competition venues that would have been used for 80% of the events. The Olympic ways in the immediate vicinity would have made it possible to guarantee the effectiveness and efficiency of transportation. According to the bid team, it would have taken less than 10 minutes to reach either of the venue clusters. The village would have been placed in the northwest of Paris, in the 17th arrondissement on an industrial wasteland belonging to the SNCF. Venues. The venue concept for the Paris bid was focused around two principal clusters: a northern core around the Stade de France and a western core established around the Stade Roland-Garros. 16 additional venues were to be constructed for the games. Northern core: Stade de France, Aquatic Center, Superdome, House 1, House 2, House 3, House 4, House 5, House 6, Western core: Stade Roland-Garros, Stade du Parc des Princes, Stade Jean-Bouin, Dome, Hippodrome de Longchamp, Croix Catalan, Hippodrome de Auteuil. House 7. Other sites in Paris: Eiffel Tower, Champ de Mars, Palais Omnisports de Paris-Bercy, rowing course of Vers-sur-Marne, cycle racing track of Saint-Quentin and Yvelines, Park of Saint-Quentin and Yvelines, Palace of Versailles, Shooting Centre of Versailles, Sporting Centre of Doves. Elsewhere in France: Port of La Rochelle, Stade Vélodrome in Marseille, Stade Chalon in Lyon, Stade de la Beaujoire in Nantes, Stade Félix Bollert in Lens. Previous bids. It is the third time in recent years that Paris has sought hosting rights for the Olympic Games. In 1986, Barcelona was chosen to host the 1992 Games. France was, however, subsequently selected to organize the 1992 Winter Games at Albertville. In 2001, Beijing was selected for the 2008 Games. Paris finished third behind Beijing and Toronto. Competition with London. The IOC's decision to hold the 2012 Games in London was a massive blow to France, due to this being Paris's third failed attempt to host the Olympic Games in the previous 20 years. Throughout Paris's 2012 bid, great emphasis was placed on France's love and passion for sport. Two previous failures to host the Games led many to believe that Paris had learned from its mistakes and would produce a strong bid that would not be easily challenged. This remained the case throughout much of the process, as Paris was almost always the favorite to win. However, the final decision was between London and Paris, the largest cities and capitals of the United Kingdom and France, two nations with an history of rivalry. The decision of either Paris or London for 2012 would also be historic, as either city would have become the first city to host the Olympic Games 3 times. There was a huge outcry in Paris when the French capital was rejected yet again to host the Olympic Games. A sense of disbelief swept across crowds of French sports fans, who had always remained confident that they would win. This victory for the British capital has given them the first 100% track record for bidding and hosting the Olympic Games 3 times. This is as the previous bids were also successful, while Paris currently holds a 40% track record for bidding and hosting the Olympic Games. Future bids. Paris are bidding for the 2024 Summer Olympics. They were considering a bid for the 2020 Summer Olympics, but decided to wait until 2024. Hosting in 2024 would mark chapter 100 years since Paris hosted the 1924 Summer Olympics, which was the last time they hosted. If Paris hosts the 2024 Games, they would become the second city after London to host the Olympics 3 times. The London 2012 Games means that it would be highly unlikely that Paris would host the Olympics for some time after 2012. This is due to Paris's close proximity to London, and that the Games would have been held in Europe twice in 8 years, at a time when relations between the United Kingdom and France were at a particularly low point. This was due to conflicting views on the war in Iraq, and differences on the future of the European Union. Thus, the decision to host the 2012 Games was yet another element to sour British-French relations. On October 15, 2014, Prime Minister Manuel Valls declared that the city would instead bid for the World's Fair of 2025, prompting concerns that Paris would no longer submit an application for the Olympics. However, no city official has stated that Paris is out of the bidding process thus far. On November 8, 2014, the mayor of Paris, Hidalgo, suggested that the city might not be able to afford to put itself forward as host, saying, "We are in a financial and budgetary position today that does not allow me to say that I am making this bid." Quote. In addition, she talked about a potential bid for the 2028 Summer Olympics. On April 13, 2015, the Council of Paris officially voted and approved the candidacy, making Paris an official applicant.